Hello, good morning, everyone. Hi, Anna in the studio of stabthingsintoexistence.com. I am working on a new backdrop with flags that bought these individual letter flags about 4 years ago now, almost 4 years ago. Um, and expensive, but totally and absolutely worth it. But yeah, this will be the new backdrop to cover up what can be a little chaotic and help us all focus on what I'm doing here on camera. So, welcome to the studio. How are you today? I'm having a great day so far, even though the dog is driving me a little bit bonkers. But she's sitting in the sun now, and hopefully, all is well for a while. I am answering the question for Tell Me Tuesday today. Can I use felting to repair a stuffed toy, stuffed doll, soft critter, creature, baby that's been loved a little too hard? And the short answer is yes. There is a but. Um, Furry things make it a little tricky, but I'm going to show you how you might work on a soft sculpture here to create and repair something that's been loved really hard. So let's turn the camera down. You can see my little huggy guy has a missing eye spot, and that's just where we're going to start today. So I'm just going to take a tiny little bit of this white pre-felt and my felting needle, and I am just going to find where that little dot lives. I'm just going to stab pretty much right in the same spot. And do you see how that fiber is pulling in tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter? That is the magic of felting. So now we have both of our little glimmers here, but wait, where did his hair go? Well, let's try this. This is just some bulky yarn, and I've cut it into hair lengths. I'm actually going to go this direction. I'm going to go this direction because I'm going to show you. I'm just going to stab right here in the very middle of this yarn. And I'll just keep stabbing until I've got a nice connection. You may want to have a couple of different sizes of needles for repairing things like this, because sometimes you'll need a little bit more of a bulky needle like I'm using right now because of what your sculpture is stuffed with. Sometimes you'll want a finer needle so that you don't, damage any surface. I know some soft dolls are made by putting a piece of hosiery over it to give it a skin color. And so if you used a really bulky needle like this to add an eye, for instance, an eye wore off, because most of those are just painted or stamped on. They wore an eye off. If you use a really bulky needle, you could cause runs in the hose that's covering the face. And then you're going to have, a face that's got some scars on it. So have a couple of different sizes of needles available. And you see, I've got this attached already. I mean, it's pretty firm. But because this is going to be loved on, I want to make sure that I really get a good connection right here in the center. I'm sort of making the part in the hair. And the reason I'm doing it in the middle is so that it just holds all of the hair together. Now, once we've got this done, we can style it and shape it any way we want. I kind of think it's fun when you've got a super bulky yarn like this, if you take it and you try and pull those plies apart a little bit, because then you can get some really wild and crazy hair going. Now, do you have to wait to create just a repair on an item, or can you make loveys that can be used? Well, here's the United States answer to that. If you call something a toy, then there are an awful lot of regulations and guidelines and safety precautions that you need to go through. So I don't ever recommend that anything that is done with felting is considered a toy, at least here in the United States, because we are a litigious society and things do have a tendency to fall off. But if you're not selling them, if you're creating them for yourself and you are watching your kiddos when they're playing with them, that is your prerogative, because we also live in a society where individual rights are highly valued. But you didn't hear me say that it's okay to make toys out of felting, because that just opens a whole can of worms. But this could be a lovey that, looks over our littles from the cupboard, or is just hanging out to see. Look how cute that looks. Isn't that adorable? Maybe this is a lovey that just, sits on the bedside and, gives them a little sense of feeling calm and comfortable. But that is a really easy way that you can repair things that have been loved a little too hard. And all you need is a little bit of yarn, you need your felting needles, you need a little bit of wool, maybe a little bit of pre-felt, but you can turn. This is just stuffed with leftover pieces of wool, and it's just fleece. You can get fleece really inexpensive, and you could make pillows that you embellish to look like little critters. That would be a really cool thing. Um, it's fun, it's easy, and it's quick and fairly simple to do. You can even, if you've got littles that are, oh, I'd say, 6, 7, 8, and can follow instructions, you can show them how to repair their own loveys so that they take a little ownership in them. But this is how easy it is to do a repair. Now, can this repair be done on anything else? Absolutely. If you've got a spot on your favorite sweater, you can needle felt a design right over that. If you've got a hole in your favorite blanket, and it's not a heavy, super thick blanket, needle felt a patch over it and give it a little bit of a design option. Got a hole in your elbow of your favorite fleece jacket? Make a patch out of needle felting and just stab the crap out of it and make something that's a design element in addition to a functional repair. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can do this, and it's very easy, and it's a fun way to personalize something that you've got, that you love, that you don't want to give away. Excuse me, I swallowed. Sorry about that, I swallowed wrong. Okay, maybe I'm talking too much. I'm all right. Anyway, so I guess we're gonna have a short day since I'm coughing like crazy. But that's how easy it is to repair something and give it another little bit of life, and to add a little bit of fun to a lovey that's been loved a little too hard. And as I cough some more, I will see you all tomorrow on What to Felt Wednesday, and we'll be talking Kandinsky inspired. So stay tuned. See you later. Bye.